I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P. A lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious, I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
Yeah. Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. You are now tuned in to Let's Go Live with Lamont King. I am Lamont King, and we are now officially live. Let's go. Yeah. Broadcasting live from the newly remodeled Drunken Fruit Studio.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.
Thank you, Lord Jamal. I appreciate it. Good to see y'all, man. We made it. Another day. Almost to the end of the week. You survived. You're a survivor. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in for the first time. That's what we do each and every Monday through Friday, Lord willing, 6 p.m. to 7 East Coast time. Shout out to everybody watching on the West Coast and worldwide. Trending topics, celebrity interviews, hilarious commentary, and interesting people. That's what it is. All right? You're not going to get it like this nowhere else. It's a podcast broadcast. It's a live podcast. I am the podcast killer. So that's what we doing here. Peanut Gallery, what up? Good to see y'all. Regulars, newbies, new booties, noobs. Appreciate y'all for checking in. Here's the situation. We are 100% viewer supported by viewers like you. $ Lamont King 06 at the Cash App. It's always good if you want to, every punchline, you want to slide us a few dollars, every thought-provoking moment, every high, even the lows. If at the lowest point of the show, you want to, I should send them some money because they need to do better. Or at a high, you'd be like, whoa, that was outstanding. No other show can do it like that. I should send them some money. So we appreciate it. Patreon is the situation where all the full shows and bonus clips is at. Patreon.com, Mr. Lamont King. And in the meantime, you can do all my socials right here. Follow right there. Keep it moving. All right, today we're going to do something different. Throwback Thursday. In case you missed it, I'm going to play some clips. Some people know that I'm on weekly on the Karen Hunter Show. And occasionally I'm on there by myself filling in for her when she's taking a day off. So a lot of stuff y'all don't get to hear. So I was up watching Don Lemon last night. He had Jemele Hill on. Friend of the program. Big homie. Doing major things in the game. And they had an extended segment, and she talked about her show. She has a show coming on Wednesdays on Vice with her and Carrie Champion called Carrie and Jemele Don't Stick to Sports, which is a awesome title. But I had her a few months ago on the Karen Hunter Show, and we talked about her upcoming projects and plans and all of that. So I just wanted y'all to take a listen in case you missed it. In a segment I like to call In Case You Missed It. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that and more. Some funny stuff before the end of the show and some other interesting stuff. And also, Drunken Fruit is going to be stopping by before the end of the show to explain who they are and what they're about. But for right now, in case you missed it, Jemele Hill on the Karen Hunter Show. I want to introduce my first guest, get right into it. The big homie, man, just the writer extraordinaire, TV personality, sports commentator, political culture critic. You may recognize her formerly of ESPN, currently of The Atlantic, the pride of Mumford High School in Detroit. Please welcome to the show, Jemele Hill, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. You better get that Mumford shout out in there. I appreciate
Of
it.
course, you know that. You know that. How you been?
I've been good, man. I'm just super busy. Like, this is a crazy time. I mean, obviously everybody's dealing with a lot just in our country overall. But I have to say, man, that workload has definitely tripled for me since this pandemic started. No complaints, but it's just it's just been a lot.
Now, why do you think that is? Is more to talk about, more to do, or you're just being pulled in so many different directions?
I think part of it is just being pulled in a lot of different directions. I also think that there is, during this time where there's a bit of a slowdown into how we do normal life, there is a desperate need for content. And so people who are in the content business, a lot of people are seeing a surge. And that's what I'm seeing is that, I already was writing. I already had a podcast. I added another podcast that I'm now doing, a rewatch pod where me and Van Lathan break down every episode of The Wire. I was already working on a book. And so I turned in my draft for that. It was due in May, turned that in, and now I'm in the revision process. So I already had that going on. And as some may have seen, I'll be a producer on Colin Kaepernick's docuseries with ESPN/Disney. So it's just like a lot of things just started really, being fired my way. And so sometimes there are days I've had longer days during the pandemic than I was pre-pandemic. So it's interesting.
Yeah. So what do you like better? Because there was a time when we watched you on TV every night. Now we gotta wait and see what's coming. What do you think is better for you?
Well, not necessarily, because I guess one of the new projects that I have going on is that me and my former colleague at ESPN, Cherry Champion, we have a show coming out on Vice in August. And so,
okay.
so we have a weekly show on Vice, prime time, and where we're going to discuss sports, politics, pop culture, news, bunch of different stuff, and have fabulous guests. So I don't have to miss it. I'm going back to it, but I know some people expected after I left ESPN that I would jump right into doing television, but I was just kind of waiting on the right thing. I was being offered a lot of things that were just like what I just did. I just wanted something a little bit different, and this is going to be a lot of fun.
Now, to that point, how is it going to be different though? Because you kind of did that on the 6. You had commentary, you had, y'all had different diverse guests or whatever. So how is it going to be different? Is it because Vice really there's no limitations on what you can say and do?
Correct. No limitations. And on top of that, they have a certain identity. And as you know, it couldn't be more different than ESPN. They don't mind discussing messy politics, messy racial issues. And for as much as we brought a different approach to SportsCenter, when we did it, we still had a lot of limitations. There were certain guests that we never could have had on. And there were certain guests that we did have on that our audience didn't necessarily, the SportsCenter audience didn't really understand. I mean, I'll never forget when we had on Sanaa Lathan and Gina Prince Bythewood, who we know who they are. Gina Prince Bythewood, who did Love and Basketball Tonight, who started, and this is when their series Shots Fired was on the air. And we caught a lot of flack externally because Gina, she wore a T-shirt that said feminist on it. I thought it was a great shirt. I had no problem with the shirt. No, but that was back during the whole stick to sports, and ESPN is too political. So we got a lot of heat for that, and it was senseless. And so stuff like that, I don't have to worry about anymore. And so that's why this is a much different feeling for us. So you can curse on bikes, you can't curse on
Yeah, of
ESPN.
course. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. You can
they're
wear what you want
they're
to
a little
wear.
edgier. Wear what
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
wear. They're a little edgier, and we didn't really discuss, politics, and we discussed race within the confines of sports. But now everything's open that we can discuss. So
You
this
pretty
feels
much
a lot
can do
different,
whatever. Yeah, you can pretty much
right?
do whatever. What's the name of the show?
Yeah, it's going to be called, ironically, Stick to Sports, because we're talking about
Stick to
everything but
sports.
sports. Yeah.
Hilarious, hilarious. Now, what is it live or have you taped some in the can already?
No, we have taped none. We're not live. We're just going to tape a day or two before
Oh,
before
okay.
the show is on air. So we want to tape it as close to live as possible, and even that will be a change for me because
Mhm.
I've primarily done live television. I've done some tape television for sure, but when I
Mhm.
do it taped, it feels so weird to me. Like I love live television a little bit better. So this will be an interesting adjustment to do it on a regular basis as opposed to the spot duty I used to do.
And that's good too, because I know your energy. You can vibe with that. Like a lot of people, you some people only know you from throwing shots on social media. And so,
Right.
when they see that, to see you in a different light is always a pleasant surprise. Talk about some of the pushback and the kickback and the hate that you've received on social media over the years, just by being vocal on what most of us. A lot of times, I read what you say and I'll be like, "Damn, I wish I could have said that." You know what I mean?
Oh,
But you have
I know
over the
you ain't talking, man. You
yeah.
know, you unfiltered. I know you ain't say that
But
because
you
you
just
are
get to it
pretty.
first, though.
You get to it though. All right, like don't try to act like you all sanitized over there. I'm like I
But
follow you on Twitter. I know.
no, not even that. I'm just saying, like you probably the level of hate. You probably got stories to tell of just how people, and and when they hate on you, they come at you so incorrectly, and you fact check them on the spot, and that's the part that entertains and excites me. But how how do you deal with that and still try to stay out of trouble, if you will,
Well, the good thing is,
or how
I guess
hard
to
is it?
borrow. Well, you know what? To borrow a phrase that was uttered by the great civil rights icon we just lost in John Lewis is that I try to get into good trouble, and
There we go.
I don't think as much anymore about what I have to lose, and I guess that is sort of the beauty of me being in the position that I'm in. I mean, most of the jobs and the people that I work with, and notice I said with and not for,
Hmm.
that because I am able to have a level of creative freedom and autonomy with everything I do. I traded in one job being at ESPN for like 6 jobs. So,
Hmm.
and these are all jobs that I want, all jobs that I like, but none of them I need. And because
I know that's
of
right.
that, I think that's why I have the mentality and approach to social media that I do. I'm not on there all wild or whatever, but I'm gonna
Right.
say what I need to say. And so I think I thought a little bit more about those things when I was at ESPN because it's a different corporate structure. I'm sort of dancing around the corporate structure now. Like, yes, and some of it too is that I decided after my ESPN experience, I had to I had to work for places and work with places rather that there was a certain value alignment there. Because if it
Hmm.
wasn't, all I was gonna do was frustrate them. Like I don't know if I think I could do some things in traditional, media, but I don't know if I can go back to being in traditional media the way I used to be because my
Mm.
personality is different. I'm gonna piss some people off, and I know that a lot of the corporate entities, they just don't have a stomach for that kind of fight. So, like, why frustrate each other with me expecting you to support me and have my back when I know at the end of the day, if it's too much heat or you don't like the publicity or you feel uncomfortable, we gonna get into it. So why even frustrate each other with that? I'd rather deal
Yeah.
with entities that accept who I am, will have my back, and know how to handle the things that I bring to the table.
And you, to that point, you've had Twitter battles, one-on-one Twitter battles with, people like Roger Goodell and the president, and there's a certain freedom that goes along with that when you realize that, you're standing on your own too. and on your, on your square, and don't have to walk back your words. And that's a lot of
Yeah,
people.
no, there is.
It's a lot of journalists that don't have that experience, can't even relate to that.
No, you're right. And it's funny you brought up the president because I had this thought before. I was like, when he decided to come after me on Twitter, a couple of years ago, I was at ESPN, so there's a certain amount of decorum that I needed to have.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he would try that now. Like that's gonna
Yeah.
be totally different than it did before.
Yeah.
All right,
Right.
it's gonna go totally different. All right,
Yeah.
so I wasn't at liberty to clap back before. Now he gonna get all the smoke.
Yeah. That's it right there. That would be now that's something. You had that on the show, have a segment called the clapback where you invite all those types of people on the show to say it to my face. Because that's the thing about Twitter. People are so bold and brave on social media. But if you were in the same room with that person, that conversation would not happen that way.
No, it is definitely a lot of keyboard warriors, as you know. And there's also some people I could tell they ain't never been beat up before. I
Yeah.
can tell by
Yeah.
this way they tweet. I was like, ain't nobody slapped you before, have they?
Right. Hilarious. So let's talk about some news of the day, some trending topics. Kanye West had a weird week. And I'd love to get your
it's called every week, right?
Yeah, well, now he's got scheduled outbursts, which I'm really not a fan of. I understand the conversation surrounding mental illness, and I would never make fun of that. But I feel like when you schedule a tour around your down times, I think it's hard to rally for you. It's hard to celebrate you and support you, going through those issues when you set them up as press runs.
hmm Yeah, no, you're not the first one to observe that. Like many, I think the phrase you use is like entirely appropriate. Planned outbursts always come when he has something to promote, and I guess it's kind of difficult. He's a difficult person to critique because I think we all get the feeling that there is a mental health issue at play, and we don't know the ins and outs of what that is. We know there have been reports about him suffering from bipolar disorder, and all that. And so I think a lot of us want to be sensitive to it. Kanye West, for a long time, frankly, he just wears out my energy. He just saps my energy. So, I put him on my personal cancel list a long time ago, because I'm just like, I don't have the energy to be just, he's a great artist, or was one, and he has contributed a lot to hip hop and to culture. But I just personally, for my own peace of mind, I don't really pay attention to the dude, when he's the whole president, running for president and all these, I saw a tweet right before you and I got on the line together that he's tweeting about abortion right now. It's like, dude, I ain't got time for that. I just don't. Kanye has mentally exhausted me. And so I have given up streets now. So y'all can have them.
Because you're unbothered. That's what it is. You're unbothered. We're on with Jemele Hill right now from The Atlantic and her podcast, The Unbothered. Very quickly, I want to talk about the podcast you're doing with Van Lathan about The Wire. Now, how did that come about? All right, were y'all fans of The Wire, or y'all just felt like it was something that needed to be explained? Did you watch it when the series was on?
I did. So, I didn't.
Okay.
I'll be completely candid. I did not watch it from. I didn't start with The Wire from day one. When The Wire, I watched it when it was on, but I didn't get to it till it was on season 3 or 4. And I think I may have watched one episode. I was like, no, I need to go back. And so I went back and watched it from the first season on, and I caught up to it. I think it was season 3 when I started. I didn't start at season 3 because I'm somebody, I need to go in chronological order. So I started at season 1. By the time I caught up, it was time for season 4. And I think 3 and 4, those are two of the best. That's the best dramatic television in history. It's like season 3 and 4.
It's the best. It's the best show. Yeah, it's the best show in TV history. Period, hands down. That's my opinion.
I think it's the best drama ever. No, I'm with you. It is, and so
yeah.
I was a fan. Dan is a fan, but we are a bit of an arranged marriage. Even though we knew each other before we started doing the podcast together, Bill Simmons, who runs the Ringer, he approached both of us about doing a Wire rewatch pod, which had not been done and was very needed which was very needed for this show because The Wire got no flowers when it was on TV, and I mean none. And I don't think like the Wire it ages so well, but it was one that was loved more after the fact than during the fact. I mean, the ratings were very low when it was on HBO. And the decision whether or not it was going to come back to television was always a season to season decision. So it wasn't loved like that. And then the people who were really into The Wire carried it into the promise it became, or into the cult phenom that it became. They got nominated for 2 awards, 2 Emmys, and both of them for writing. They didn't win anything. They didn't win an NAACP Image Award. Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing.
So, which is crazy considering like whenever you talk to people about, all right, what's the best series in television history, they're going to either say The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, or The Wire. One of the 3. And so for it to be that well regarded, and we see how The Sopranos and Breaking Bad, they won a lot of stuff. What didn't was The Wire.
And The Wire, it's like the Tupac of TV shows, because you're right. When it was on, it was just for the diehard fans. But then when it went off, it spawned so many social media memes and cultural references and just iconic TV moments that after the fact, you got people that are teenagers now. They weren't even old enough to watch it when it was on, who like The Wire was it. It was everything. So I'm glad y'all doing it. Yeah, especially now.
Especially now because during the pandemic, one thing, and it was great timing on our part because the
HBO they ran it
for The Wire. They ran it. Yeah, they reran it, and the ratings have been through the roof. So people are now in this slowdown able to really appreciate what The Wire is.
Yeah. Yeah, Jemele Hill from the Atlantic and Unbothered podcast. You got a few minutes to take some calls?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. 866-801-8255 is the number to call in to talk to Jemele Hill. Questions or comments. My name is Lamont King, filling in for Karen Hunter on the Karen Hunter Show. Foolishness Fridays. Y'all know what it is, so keep with the theme. Keep it light. We calling up here with them sad stories and all that. We got another special guest on the phone while we wait for callers. This gentleman right here is my partner in crime on Foolishness Friday, so I'm gonna bring him on now. He's on standby. He's been waiting. The good brother, your everybody's favorite uncle, J. Anthony Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up with you? Oh man, good to go, man. Sitting here.
I'm just enjoying this here on the show. I wish I had the knowledge of sports that you have, so I could just put it in somebody's face every time they bring up something. But I don't know nothing about it. I would start arguments to shut them. I would just start fights about sports just to shut them down. But I can't because I don't know. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate you. Yeah.
And never have.
And never have. What, Jemele? What do you think about the first night of NBA basketball last night?
I thought it was great. I mean, the thing is, I think there was a lot of people who thought that with no crowd and it being a different environment, that would take some of the that would take some of the magic off of it, or that it just wouldn't be as good. And it was, I mean, it was 2 really good games. The Utah game was good. The Clippers and Lakers, that was a really good game. Both games came down to the wire. And I think what you saw as a result is people just talking about what an appreciation they have for the league, for it to be back, for us to give us, things are just not normal. They probably won't be for a long time, but just to give us a taste of normal. So I thought it was a very good restarting opening night.
Do you think my theory was always that once sports comes back, this whole activism thing and the current civil rights movement is going to come to a quick and fast halt? And I see that the teams and the leagues, different leagues, WNBA, NBA, and others have kind of embedded these accommodations as far as player protest is concerned. And I feel like, this is my opinion, I feel like it's something to be said about a negotiated protest where your boss is telling you, yeah, you can say something, but this is how much you can do. So y'all can kneel during or go to the locker room. You can wear this on your shirt, but beyond that, play ball. Do you think this is going to interrupt the process that we made over the last few months where we didn't have sports on?
I think the barometer of that is probably seeing what happens with football. Football seems to absorb so much more attention. And not only that, considering the NFL in particular was one of the leagues that, or was the league that was very resistant to players speaking up. And now we see they're trying to have some gestures where they show that they've been listening to the players. They might be singing the Black National Anthem before the first week of games. They might,
Right.
they're going to allow them to have certain messages on their cleats and this and that. Because I think what these leagues have figured out is that, even though I hear what you're saying, that when you have a protest that seems a little sanitized, you wonder if it's still as effective. And I guess that everybody has their own opinion about that. But I will say what the leagues have recognized, that it does them no good to be out on a moment like this, that to have any level of credibility, to have their players respect, and really a lot of respect of their fans, that they need to figure out a way to support this movement. And if a way that they can support the movement is by giving the players a wider berth in terms of expressing how they feel, doing press conferences where they're only talking about Breonna Taylor, they understand how necessary that is if they want to maintain those cultural connections with their fan base. So I look at it as positive, but I'm also skeptical.
Yeah.
I have a totally different mindset. Like I said, I'm coming from a person who's not a big sports fan, and my problem with it is that people who are sitting at home who need to be tested and want to be tested are saying, well, how come they put this big bubble around these basketball players and these baseball players and these hockey players, and I'm sitting here and I'm waiting 7 to 8 days for a test. By that time, my family could be totally the test could be totally different, or I could be infected by now. So for me, looking at sports, I look at it as a mindset is that we're putting so much emphasis on these ball players, which, don't get me wrong, people want to see sports and they love sports, but the average Joe is sitting at home who needs to pay his rent, who needs to pay his mortgage, who needs his business to go back on the operation, are wondering why we're putting so much emphasis on these quote-unquote millionaires. And I know for a fact that everybody that plays on the team is not a millionaire, but these are the ones that stand out. And they're going, why can you put them in a bubble? And here I am, I can't even get tested. I can't even find where you can get a test. And that's the problem I have with professional sports. And these owners, to me, this is my opinion, these owners are playing emphasis on let's play ball. You guys have so much money. You have a whole lot of money. Let's put some emphasis on these communities that you're in to get computers, to get these kids back to school, to educate. You guys got the money. You have the money. And I just have a problem with these ball players playing ball when the average Joe, even myself, can't find a place to get tested. You can't find a place to get tested.
You sound like Jay. You sound like Avery Johnson right there. These ball players. You're sick of these ball players.
I'm just saying there's so much emphasis on them and none on the average Joe. And why do we live in a society like that? That's my opinion.
Well, let me just say this, is that I think you have, and the American people have every right to be frustrated by not having access to the same things that professional athletes do. That said, I think your frustration is misguided. Who you need to be frustrated with is our federal government, because they're in control of a national testing protocol, not the NBA. The NBA did right by its league. The NBA is a private league. Yeah, no, that's who you need to direct your anger at, because the president.
Well, I have anger. I have anger at
a national.
I'm not,
but you can't be mad at a private league. That's like being mad that a company offers insurance. Like, that's what they do. Like, they're a private company. They're allowed to do that. And it's not their fault that they were more prepared than our actual government.
Look, Jay, so here's what it is. You don't like sports. So we've already we've already we've already. But look, hold on. But hold on, Jay. We're gonna go.
No, I'm not gonna. First of all, I'm not gonna let you say that. I said I don't know sports, but because I don't know a
Yeah.
lot about something, doesn't mean I don't like it. I like sports. My knowledge of it is not nowhere near
Yeah.
what you and Mr. Hill have.
No,
And I
I feel
accept
your
that.
I feel your
I accept that.
I feel your
But
position.
and I'm not the only one that feels that way. I am not
Yeah.
the only person that feels that way. That's all.
Under Derek, what's good with you, baby?
Hey, what's up, Lamont?
Welcome to the program.
Brown. Hey, first I want to congratulate and thank you and J. Anthony Brown for showing the range of brothers and sisters. You brothers, y'all showing y'all range, and I appreciate that. And to Miss Jemele Hill, I come from the part of Ohio where you used to get your QB from.
From Lima.
Yes. We love you so much here in the Bean City. And I want to commend you. I love you and Brother Smith, the way y'all handled your business against that dinosaur. And you guys just make us proud, because when you stand up against something and people think you're going to shrink and fall and disappear, and you rise like a phoenix, it just makes us so happy. It gives us everyday people, that strength of mind to stand up. And I appreciate you all for that.
I got J. Anthony Brown on the line, and also Ms. Jemele Hill from The Atlantic, and the new show Stick to Sports, which is launching soon on the Vice network. Now, moving on from basketball, I wanted to talk about quarantine and the lockdown, and how people are pivoting and people are doing different things. And what's a fun thing that you've done during your time inside over the last few months, Jemele?
Well, I think one of my biggest accomplishments during this quarantine was I learned how to make the perfect omelet. Like, my breakfast game was weak. I'm not gonna lie, it was weak, man. It was weak. I'm more of a breakfast on the go type of person, so I never invested a lot in making breakfast. And I'm recently married, and so my husband used to mess with me all the time because he had served me breakfast in bed a few times, but I'd never done it for him because I'm like, because breakfast wasn't really my thing. But I got fed up, and I said, I'm gonna go to YouTube. I'm gonna figure out how to really hook up an omelet. And now
you went to YouTube for eggs? For eggs, you went to YouTube? Are you serious?
But look, before you just totally killed me, realize this was mostly about learning to flip the omelet appropriately.
Okay.
So I
technique.
understood the dynamics. It was technique. Right. It wasn't because it wasn't like I never heard of eggs. Like, I understood.
Right.
But I needed to finesse my technique. So I was looking for something that, a couple ideas about like what would be the best way to do it without having one of those those pans that flip the omelet for you. You just got to turn it over.
Oh yeah. So what was did you have? Was it a meat? Was it spinach and cheese, or was it
cheese
vegetarian?
In there? Do you have cheese in there? Onions? Do you have all of that in there?
So my husband is like one of 4 people on earth that does not really like cheese. So
I'm with him.
I'm with him. Yeah, and well, he doesn't really like cheese, and he also eats kind of healthy, which makes me sick. So at any rate, he does egg whites. So I did an egg white omelet. Yes, I did do spinach. I've also done shrimp. I've done ground turkey. So I now I'm just getting just like crazy with it. I'm like, what you need?
Have
you mastered the art of flipping it? Like, just in the one pan. Have you mastered that? Because that's omelet making right there. You can just take that pan and flip it over.
How is your wrist game? How's your wrist game with it?
Yes.
So I can't just do it. I need a utensil, so I got to use a spatula. So I use a spatula, flip. I know I can't just toss it up in the air and it wind up perfect. But the spatula is my friend, and even with that, you just got to make sure that it. I don't want it to look all sloppy and look like some prison food or something. So I was like, I had to really perfect that flip. So now I'm on point.
Well,
now, I'm with you.
An omelet can be a good omelet. Now, just because it looks really bad, the taste could be really, really good. And so it's all about taste, I guess. Huh?
My
Yeah, well, no,
omelets, they
but
have
you
to
gotta
have.
have good presentation though. You gotta have
Yeah,
presentation.
you have to have the brown marks on it. I don't like moist and wet omelets. The omelet has to have the
Okay.
brown,
Like a little
almost
crunchy on the
burn.
end, right? Right.
Yeah, a little crunchy on the end piece with the little
Uh-huh.
and it's like almost burned, but it's not. You know what I mean? And salute to your husband. Congrats on that too, on your marriage. Applause for that. Round of applause for that. You're getting married. Um, but salute him because there we go. I'm for one. I like cheese, and I don't eat healthy all the time. But I don't believe cheese
What?
belongs in
What?
eggs. It does not
You
belong in
what?
eggs.
Really?
Cheese does not. Cheese does not belong in eggs. It does, or grits, for that
Okay.
matter.
Okay.
Wait, hold up.
It
Cheese
does,
don't belong
Yeah.
on grits. What kind of heathen are
or
you? Are you
Yes.
serious?
or
Yes.
eggs, or eggs. They just
Wow,
don't
you
belong.
said grits.
It's not a good fit.
Dude,
It's not a good
you
fit.
took it too far.
Well
You
then,
took it too far.
okay, Lamont. What are you putting in your omelet? What do you put in there?
So it could be any one of your sliced turkey meats, or little
Mm-hmm.
crab, little diced ham,
Mm-hmm.
green peppers, spinach maybe, or nothing at all. Just a nice fluffy egg flipped, and
That's
make sure the sides touch and they connect, and then you eat it like a frittata, if you will.
okay.
You know what I mean?
You do know if you have an egg fried that's flipped with nothing in it, you're just eating
What's that
egg.
called?
That is
Yeah,
that's egg.
yes,
That's
yeah,
you just had an egg.
that's
You didn't have an omelet.
yeah.
You had an egg.
That
Okay. That's all
that's
you
called.
had was
I
an
call
egg.
it a I call it an omelette. It's less of an
Uh,
omelet than anything else. So hey, it's good. It's good to me. It's good to me. All right, well there it is, folks. Jemele Hill, I appreciate you jumping on the call with us, man, and joining the show. Always been a big fan. Watching all your moves, of course. The Vice show is coming in August. Stick to Sports with you and Carrie Champion. The podcast is popping. Unbothered with Jemele Hill. And what's the name of the Wire one? What is it called? Watch the Wire?
The Wire one is called it's called Way Down in the Hole.
Oh, Way Down in the Hole, like the song. Okay, Way
Like
Down
the
in the
song.
Hole. All right. Yeah.
Yep,
All
exactly.
right. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you for spending time with us, and wish you the
congratulations
best.
on your new show. Yes.
Yes,
Continued
thank you both.
success.
It was a pleasure being on with both of you guys. Thank you.
All right, there it is, folks. Jemele Hill. One time for Jemele. Got the show with her and Carrie Champion. I'll be watching it. That
I
jump
don't care
cool.
if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. We cut that off. Yeah. Anyway, all right, moving on. Let's take a commercial break real quick. Throwback Thursdays, of course. Let's get into one of my original crank calls from way back in the day on the radio. Yeah, let's hit it. Let's see where it go at. Oh, here it go. This is a classic. Enjoy.
Con buenas.
It's pawn shop.
Yes.
I need to know if there's a few items you have down there because I got a cousin who was out on parole and he violated his parole and he stole some stuff from me and he told me he was going to take my stuff down to your shop. Do you have a Hamilton Beats 32 speed blender?
What is your transaction number?
Say what now?
Your transaction number. What is?
Transaction number?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm looking for a Hamilton Beats 32 speed blender. It got like chop and mix and puree and fast as hell. Have you seen it?
Okay, you have something here?
Yeah, and I want to come down there and pay cash for it to get it back.
Okay, what is your transaction number in the ticket under your name? Okay.
He stole one of my original Mr. Potato Heads with no attachments.
What is the first name?
Crayon. It's an antique porcelain portable toilet bowl. You ain't even really got to flush it. You take it with you, and
I can hear you clear. You know.
Well, one of the other things that he stole was my Aunt Tina's sexual toy. It was a self-pleasuring toy. They call it a silver bullet, but she's allergic to silver, so she had it bronzed. It was dipped.
The last name is Smith?
Smith. It's Smith. Listen, the Hamilton Beach blender I got when I was 18 years of age when I first came home from the service.
It's me, Carly.
And what?
It's me, Carly.
It's fast. It chops up. We used to make margaritas with it. And
Es que yo no la puedo escuchar.
And they used to come over and tequila shots, and it was crazy.
Okay, I put in hold. Is Charlie Smelly?
No, I'm trying to get my original Mr. Potato Head with no attachments. I got a cousin who violated his parole. He's on crack. He's not doing too well. He's been living on the rough side of town. He stole these items from my house, and he took them to your pawn shop. And I got cash money. I want to come down there and get my stuff back. I mean, this blender, oh man, it chops up meats, bananas, green beans. You can make like a steak and banana slush.
Yeah, but if you want, check the account. I need exactly the last name.
It is. It's Smith.
Okay, if you don't
my
have a
ass
receipt,
if I don't give her a silver bullet back.
Listen, sweetheart, if you don't have a receipt, you can pick it up.
I'm a sir. You call me sweetheart. I am a sir. I'm just a little distressed right now.
Man, are you coming personally here?
I'm calling you personally now.
Yeah, but if you want coming here.
Do you remember Mr. Potato Head? You remember how I used to plug on the ears and put the nose on and the eyes?
Where is the last name for the person?
Potato Head.
Huh?
Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head. It's the little dog, but I don't have any attachments on it because I lost the attachment.
Okay, listen. Call me with your ID. I check everything.
To Camp Schmidt that time.
Listen.
Huh?
Call me with your ID. I check everything for you personally.
I have my ID right now. I have it right now.
Yeah, by phone. I understand you, you know? Because it's not under your name.
You don't understand me. I can barely understand you. He's violated his parole and took off my blender.
Okay, listen, sweetheart, listen.
I am a sir.
It's the last name. What is the birthday?
My birthday?
No. It's under your name? The account is under your name?
Yeah, my birthday is February 29th. I'm a leap year baby. See, what the silver bullet is,
here.
My Aunt Tina's allergic to silver.
Listen,
that's why she had
I
it.
explain to you everything here, okay?
Well, you seen the Mr. Potato Head dog with no attachment?
Listen, sweetheart, I have customers here.
Did you see the 35-speed blender?
I explain to you everything here, okay?
I am a sir.
You have an address?
Well, out.
You have an address?
Oh, habita. What in the world is you saying?
Oh. All right, that's our commercial break. The latest installment of Crayon Smith. Legendary crank phone calls, man. They are all available. The whole catalog just about is available on Spotify, Pandora, all streaming platforms. Super, super funny. You enjoy it. I still get residuals. All right, moving on. In case you missed it, the best of, this is what we're doing, Throwback Thursday. A lot of people asking about Drunken Fruit. And to that, that's one of our longest running sponsors and partners. Partners. One of our longest running partners. And here's your answer. Take a listen. Great story. They got a great story. Awesome story. All right, here we go. Tiny Closet Studios is a thing. You hear me?
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.
Appreciate you. All right, so let's keep it moving, man. So first guest, man, we'll jump right into it. The big homie, man, good friend of mine, one of our longtime partners and sponsors, drunkenfruit.com, black owned and operated out of Brooklyn, sports aficionado, just a physical trainer. He's a librarian. He reads books. He's a painter. He's into horticulture. I mean, he just does everything. He's just a diverse individual, man. And I was like, yo, I'll be shouting y'all out. Why don't you just come on the show with Rapper Taste? So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Wayne from Drunken Fruit. What's good with you?
Hey, what's up?
What up with you? Wagwan. Yeah. Good to see you. I see with the logo happening. We in the studio.
You got into me last minute, so I got to put some things together quick.
Nah, but and that you did, man. So I reached out. I was like, well, let the people see you and get the vibe, because I know it's still one of those new businesses, and you know how we treat new businesses that we don't know much about. It's all the questions, you know what I mean? So I was like, just come on and just spit that gift and just explain what it is. So your company, drunkenfruit.com, it's adult candy. Just give a quick background.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a brief thing. Like, Renee and I put it together back in 2004.
Yeah.
Now, it's a lot of science behind this thing. We had to work on it. It was like a lot of trial and error involved. Started off with pineapple, doing it for Super Bowl parties. After a while, people started, what's that? What's that concoction? What are you doing?
Yeah.
So Renee influenced me, because I come from a science background, to start developing other flavors and developing other things. As we went on, started recognizing that I could age this thing. I could age it out, have vintages, let people know that, you're not just getting something that's some overnight thing. You're getting something from 2012, 2013, different years. And we also, as we started the company, started recognizing this versatility. When you start doing something initially, you don't really know that, hey, across the board, we could do a whole bunch of shit with this. So when we started getting into it now, started realizing desserts first.
Okay.
But then started noticing, hey, it was this mother and sister out in the Hamptons. We out there, doing a little liquor show. First thing these two people say to us is, give me that pineapple. Why? She looks at her daughter, because it's going to go well with our Ciroc. You know what I'm saying? So then that's when we realized, hey, cocktails, craft cocktails. People are going to want to put that into their vodka, their gin. You could have like that sour apple martini. You could have that whiskey sour with our vanilla cherry, our cherry vanilla.
Right.
And then it just grew from there. Versatility across the board. Started getting people to cook with it. People to make cocktails with it. One of our best things that we do is the different types of mimosas that we have. French, American, French for champagne, American for Corbel, and those type of different things on its end. So, you know how it grew, because you were one of the first people to have it.
Yeah.
And, I saw that you finally opened up that spiced apple we gave you. It was 8 years old. You opened it 2 years later.
No, look, real talk. So this is what happened, right? So he gave me a gift. So Wayne is a very giving individual, and so he blessed me with a housewarming, and it was a 32 ounce. Was that 32?
It was a 16 ounce spiced apple.
Spiced apple. I was like, bet. And I'd be holding on to stuff like mementos and keepsakes. I was like, nah, I ain't drinking this. This means something. And he would hit me like every other month. Yo, you open it yet? I'd be like, nah. He was like, yo, you open it yet? 2 years later. It was an 8-hour, aged 8 years. I waited, so 10 years. When I tell y'all, the deliciousness, I don't even know how that works, but the 10 years of deliciousness in that bottle. Excuse me. I'm still thinking about it right now because it was spiced apple.
Yeah, we still have that video.
Yeah, right. And I put I open boxed it live on Instagram, and so I say all that to say it's a quality product, a great business model, and just something that it's easy to support. So kudos.
That's what we've been doing as well with our company. We kind of decided during this entire time of everything that's going on, pandemic and everything, we decided that we're just going to support Black-owned businesses. We're calling it our 90 days of strictly Black-owned businesses. You know what I'm saying? So we've been going to our different friends in different liquor stores, different companies. Even went out to Long Island the other day and we had some barbecue out here. So, we're just and supporting you as well.
Yeah.
We're just all in on it. Our hashtag is our dollar is Black, plain and simple.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
that's it. Our dollar is Black. So we've just been going all in on that alone, where we could find a Black-owned company that we could support and that we could kind of incorporate into our lifestyle. And because, we work out as well. We do all these different things. We go to Black-owned bike shops, so on and so forth. Wherever we could drop that dollar, we're dropping it in our pocket.
So there are a couple people that are asking, what is it? And Mr. Clarkson, our executive producer, he says, this is your statement. Drunken fruit is certified organic fruit aged in a proprietary blend of alcohol.
Yes, in our own proprietary blend of alcohol.
Right.
We kind of call it adult candy because of its versatility. Anything as an adult you could come up with, do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do with it.
You got some laying around so they can see?
Let me just ask.
Yeah. I know some people are still watching. They like, well, what is it? I went to the web. I still.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna introduce you to one of our newer flavors that we just started making last year.
Okay.
And you've had it as well. our cherry vanilla.
That's my second favorite. That's my second favorite.
Yeah.
Cherry vanilla. We was at where were we at?
West Indian Day Parade.
And I killed the serving. I killed the box.
I gave it to you for you to take home with you, and then we right there in the middle of Eastern Parkway.
Yeah, you're supposed to pop them and do that whole thing. But I was just like,
Uh-huh. Yeah, we incorporated Rainier cherries that are only around literally 90 days to maybe 2 months a year out of Washington State. And then, of course, we created our own blend. And now we have things aging for up to a year. And, of course, they came out pretty much cherry seasons. We're right kind of like at the tail end of cherry season right now. And we came out with our own cherry vanilla. So we have from last year aging out 1 year, and now we've created like a new batch this year, you know.
And the reason why I want to show it, this is why I wait till it comes. The reason why I want to show it is because the people that are watching right now, everybody has the same reaction. They say the same thing, and that reaction is, "Oh, I could do that." That's the first reaction, and I want them to see it because there are two key things that you just did just now. You broke down where you got the fruit. And you didn't tell what your mix is.
No.
So if you can't do those two things, then no, you can't do it.
I tell people all the time, like, every good business started somewhere, you know? And if I was to break down what's in it and what I'm doing and so on and so forth, why would I? I mean, it's just like the Bush's Baked Beans commercial. Right. Only me and the dog.
Right.
That's the only people that know. I'm not going to share it with anyone because why should I? Right. I mean, as you know, there you go.
Yeah.
Our cherry vanilla.
Delicious. And what you do, folks, is you get you like a little picker, like a little sport or a toothpick, and dink, or put it in a drink, or every time you go out, plop a little bit, and it's just so rich and potent. Yeah.
And it's fantastic for people like, let's say, it's a perfect gift. You got that young lady you're trying to impress. Flowers ain't it no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dinners ain't it no more. You want something. We always say, give something to someone that they've never had.
Nice.
This is something that I guarantee she's never had.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? And you know the baskets because we've given one of the baskets to Karen.
Yeah.
So we try to do luxury baskets and kits and so on and so forth with high-end champagne because the couplings are fantastic. And like for all those, like all us men that, we get down, we like our whiskeys, our bourbons, so on and so forth. Don't sleep on that spiced apple, like Lazy said.
Yeah. You drop it right in your beverage. Yeah.
There you go.
It's the real deal. It's the real deal. It's a unique treat. Talk about a little bit about some of the challenges that y'all face getting the business off the ground back in the day.
Okay. When we initially started the business as a Black-owned business, and especially doing something completely original, especially in this whole liquor industry, of course, while we're trying to pursue it and sell it and get everything straightened out, the things that you're approached with, like, for instance, that's just hooch. That's just corn liquor, or that's bathtub gin. Now, I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know what bathtub gin is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But whatever it is, if it's in a bathtub, I ain't drinking.
Right.
Feel me? So getting approached with different things of, like, let's say when you come to Drunken Fruit, we give you a high-end experience from top to bottom.
Yeah.
We're not out here, like when we go up to Greenwich, we've been to Greenwich Wine and Food. You know what I'm saying? When you come to us, we're going to explain to you what you're getting and what you're having and the type of experience you're going to have. To have these experiences where people are approaching you as if to say, like, yo, what up? What is it? As you know, that's not my personality. That's my personality with my friends. But when I'm handling business, it is what it is.
Right.
And to get these things where somebody tried to copy our business years ago, as you know, a Jewish gentleman worth about $60 million try to copy our business, put it out there. We kind of knew behind the science of things that it wouldn't work.
Right.
Also tried to purchase our product as if we didn't know it was him.
Right.
And pretty much failed. But because of that going on, every time we have tried to step forth and try to do certain things, is, of course, here it is, the blocking of certain, like let's, for instance, we went to get a business loan.
Okay.
And I was totally against that because I don't want the bank to own anything of me.
Right, right.
And I said, we're trying to spread out, so we're going to get a business loan.
It was a
We go to
principle
get the
thing for you.
business loan. On the bank papers, of course, they're asking what race you are, so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. Now, I've already got the collateral. I already got the money in the bank, proven that this is a legitimate business, show, with my tax returns, so on and so forth. Here we go. The loan officer calls and starts asking these weird questions. Like, how old am I? Where am I from? So on and so forth. And all these different things. And I'm sitting here going, wait a minute. We weren't in for a whole heap of money. We were just in for like 80 G's.
Yeah.
And the loan officer in the bank was like, oh, you don't have no problem. Y'all got more money in the bank here because we started off with, that establishment than you're asking for. Lo and behold, we did not get the loan. Right? Things like that just continue to happen. Like when you're trying to spread your wings, you're trying to push your company out there and, kind of expand is what's taking place. So that's why I said, you know what? We put our money back into the business. And, with people like you, yourself, and everybody else that helps and supports is growing. Now when I walk through the neighborhood, if I walked into Greenwich, Connecticut, if I walk in Manhattan, there's that drunken fruit guy. There's no more Wayne. It's
which is
Mr. Drunken Fruit.
Which is even that's funny too, because you've had situations where when you first started, you're at the everybody's been to a wine festival, right? So you see the vendors. So they would be one of the vendors, and you've told me stories that I think are hilarious when people come up and they're talking to you and so interested, and they're drawn all the way in, and then they're like, "Whoa, I can't wait to speak to the owner. Where's your manager?" And they were speaking to you the whole time.
They were speaking to me the whole time, and we try to avoid, literally, I hate to say this, but we try to avoid in the whole customer interaction, literally saying that because we've had also bad experiences.
Right.
Where, let's say Renee was doing something one time and we're handling a customer, and I told you this story. Here's a customer buying literally $1,200 worth of drunken fruit at one time. This young lady's at the side. We're kind of handling things. She wants a sample. I said, hey, can you just wait a second? Let's just finish things up. Sorry to say, but the young lady was Caucasian and apparently thought that I was her mother or father and I needed to service her immediately. So she walks away in disgust. We get this $1,250 sale. She comes back and starts the nonsense. Well, you didn't give me anything, and I was about to buy something, but now I'm not going to buy anything at all. I told you this story. Literally. A second and a half later, with her still standing there, here comes this guy. Give me that 16-ounce watermelon. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. You know what I did? Gave her this look, and she's sitting there. And now what does she do? She goes to the wine, people's manager. How we were rude. We were obnoxious. We don't treat customers well, so on and so forth. And then here it comes. She sends something to my email, not knowing, and says, I don't think you should have that guy representing your company.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the story. That's my story right there. I love those happy endings.
Yeah, and further study, I guess she didn't go through the Instagram properly or didn't go through the website and then notice, well, it's a lot of black folks.
So, but that's the thing. That's also the beauty of your whole presentation, and that is very what do you call it? Diverse and has a mass appeal, mainstream feel to it, crossover appeal, if you will, and that's good for business. It's just point blank, bottom line, it's good for business, and the way y'all run is such good business. As I wrap it up, in what's in the near future. What's the next big thing for Drunken Fruit? I mean, online sales have changed the game for everybody.
You know, that we were planning to be literally in about 32 states this year. Here comes the pandemic, So we had to slow things down and find other solutions where we're, delivering locally, going to states that we are already in, like we're going to start getting out to DMV to do that home delivery thing, personal home delivery in DMV. But from the looks of it, we're going to have our space right in Brooklyn, Industry City, and we're going to be able to do online sales to 32 states by, I believe, the first or second quarter of 2021.
Okay.
Which will be big for us. So now that when people get in touch with me in California and all these different places and these different spots, no longer do I have to tell them, well, we're getting out there so-and-so, and you know, we're going to be able to get it out to you, and you're going to be able to enjoy the product.
There it is.
You know, I mean, we're getting bothered by different like companies for distribution and so on and so forth. But like I said to you earlier, it's black owned.
Yeah. And that's a big deal. And so we look forward to that, because that'll be a real tourist attraction as well. You know, one of those places where, you know, if you go to Brooklyn, you got to go past Drunken Fruit.
Exactly. And I welcome investors. And when investors come, they also will be.
I hear you.
Feel me?
I hear you.
I'm happy to have this discussion with you. You know, we avid supporters. We're always going to be friends. And, you know, I really enjoyed that conversation yesterday, by the way. And you know why.
And I know you did. A lot of people did. All right. I appreciate it, Big Wayne. So we're going to have you on soon again. We're going to be talking about sports, because I know you're an avid sports enthusiast expert. You can talk about all these franchise tag deals that happen.
Yeah.
Money going around in these sports seasons that won't happen.
And how football is literally going to see its end by like the middle of October.
All right. Hold that up. We're going to bring it back. All right. There it is. Wayne from Drunken Fruit, the Drunken Fruit guy. Ladies and gentlemen, on Let's Go Live.
Renee says, what's up?
Hey, Renee. What's up? I'll holler at y'all. There it is. It's my man right there. Great product, great company, great business model. All right. I had to cut that off. My alarm going off. Right on time. Yeah, man, there it is. Drunken Fruit. He said football is going to be over by mid-October. That was a hell of a prediction. Didn't they just postpone the game because of a COVID outbreak with the Titans? Titans Steelers got postponed. Hell of a prediction, Wayne. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to In case you missed it. Throwback Thursday, the best of. Of course, as always, man, we like to leave on a lesson, and we want to hear a word from an elder in a segment I like to call Hi, Dad.
Happy every day, brothers and sisters. This is Alpha Papa with today's reflections. Mail-in absentee ballot. Today, we hand-carried our absentee ballots to the North Carolina Board of Elections in Charlotte. We filled out the ballots this past weekend with the help of a family friend. We could have mailed the ballots. However, we felt that we wanted to increase the possibility that our votes will be counted. I thought about our family and friends that we lost during this pandemic and how they would have voted. This vote is for them. Peace and blessings to all. Alpha Papa.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Word from an elder. Hey, listen, shout out to everybody that tuned in for the first time today and brought somebody. Shout out to the regulars. I hope you have a safe and happy whatever you're having. Peanut Gallery, salute. Mr. Clarkson, salute. Executive producer. We are, not only are we out of time, we are overtime. So, Roland Martin, I appreciate your patience, but we will not be able to get you on today. So stand back and stand by, and we'll try to see if we can squeeze you in another time. Everybody else, take it light, man. Be safe, stay out of trouble, and don't do nothing crazy, man. That's all. That's all it is.